what's some of the pertinent advice you need to give to actors who are kind of lost, and they might just be at a level where they're just showing and they're seeing it from the audience's perspective in their mind, and they think, I have to show this. What do they need to do if you're going to take them from that level in a paragraph?
Well, no, it's really, you know, you have to go to class. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, I find historic mistakes being made all the time. I do find that actors show, I think actors approach material completely wrong. I think they look at a piece of text and try to figure out how to say it, rather than looking at the text and figuring out what it's about and let how to say it come out of what it's about. There's certainly not good training everywhere. And I think it's very difficult, acting. It really is. I mean, I personally own about, I'm guessing, 80 or 90 books on acting. And I'm small potatoes compared to what some people do. And that's what we do. It's you sort of look at it, you know, look at how somebody approaches something. And for everybody, it's really different. My biggest objection has always been that I think actors don't understand the nature of having a craft in acting. I think they don't realize it's like sports, that you would never play basketball unless you knew how to dribble. You would never dribble once or twice and then say, yes, I'm ready to play pro ball.
Yeah. So you're talking about experience or learning?
Learning.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I know basketball players don't just go out and throw baskets. They dribble for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And actors don't. You know, they just don't. They somehow or another they think, well, it's just lines and memorizing and talking. And so,
or they could have a lot of experience, but they were directed by people who were no good, and the shows weren't as good. You've also talked about the business. It's a business, and we have to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all pulled all the time about that. I think probably the reason I teach is because I love the art form. And then I suddenly one day say, you know, God, I guess I should go make a movie and make some money so I can afford my theater habit.
We're talking about acting income in America is huge.
It's huge.
It makes it really worth chasing that dream. And Australian people probably initially want to become an actor based on what they've seen on television, which is all American films
Right.
and TV shows. So if you guys want to live that dream, the real dream, the $25,000 a week for a TV series,
right,
prior to the 100th episode when it just amplifies
right.
up, right? You need to get an American accent and go and get an agent in LA or.
Well, I mean, and yes, which is very difficult. You know, I mean, it is, but it's difficult for everyone.
But that's the only way. That is the only way. Is that correct?
Well, if you want to make $25,000 doing a TV series, it's certainly the only way. They don't pay that other places.
How else would it be achieved? I really want to know the answer to how to get to the Academy Award.
Well,
stand.
you can't. I'll tell you something. First of all, you can't head out for it.
No?
All you can do is your work. I did not set out to win an Academy Award. I was happy I had one. And you can't be in this industry without somehow in the back of your mind from the time you were old enough to watch the Academy Awards. And so, but nobody chooses a part because they think this is going to get them an Academy Award. They choose this part because, well, for a lot of reasons. They think it's a good part. They think it's a good movie. Your best friend's the director. You developed the piece. You know, you found a book, you believed in the book, and so you found a writer and somebody wrote it, and so you know, it's too difficult. You know, blood is spilt to get every single product on. Every single product on. I mean, James Cameron spent, what, 8, 10 years getting Avatar on? I mean, it's like you think, well, you mean they didn't just give him the money? Look, you look at all the money he made on Titanic, but that's how long it takes. So it's like, you know, an Academy Award is just like a thing. It's not why you work. It is not even remotely the motive for it. Money is not even remotely the motive.
Fame must be the reason.
And none of it is a motive because it's too difficult. If you want money in your life, then go become a banker. There are easier ways to make money. I mean, the fact of the matter is, maybe 1% of the people who set out to be actors make real money at it. So it's not why you do it.
Why do you think most of the people who act?
Because they love acting. You know? It's like, I don't know, why do we act? We have unhappy lives. You know, reality isn't enough for us. The real world isn't enough for us. It's boring. It's tedious. It has to do with driving cars and standing in line at the bank. Real life is boring. So we have this other life. We have a life that we invent. We have a life that we, you know, that we say, oh yes, you know, I like that life better. I like creating my own reality. I can't stand the one I'm in.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, that's why you do it. You don't do it for the money. You don't do it for the fame. It is absolutely antithetical to what it is because nobody gets it. I mean, you look at 5 actors and you say, oh my God, look how much money they have. Look how much fame they have. Well, my God, the streets are littered with the dead bodies of people who didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the rule. You know, the people who make it are not the rule. So, I mean, it's like, you know, it's not what you know, for somebody who wants to be an actor and says, oh, well, I want to make money and I want to make a series, well, you know, I have no advice for them. You know, good. Then go to Los Angeles, get an American accent, try to get a green card, try to get a job. Maybe you'll get an agent, but chances are you'll die on the vine.
Yeah.
But
so is it better to just stay in your own country with
well, it's not better or
or
things. It's not anything. I mean, listen, I grew up in Texas. I went to New York, and then I went to Los Angeles. Why? Because I wanted to compete in the biggest. That's me. Some people are happy working at a community theater. Excellent. Then work at a community theater. Some people say, you know, I'm happy acting no matter where it is as long as I have a part.
Yeah.
You know, it was not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody from New York and nobody from Los Angeles was born there. I have maybe 3 friends that were born there. Everybody goes there because it is the biggest. It is the most competitive.
Is it the funnest?
Well, that's up for grabs. I mean, you know, New York is the center of the world in my mind.
And what about sunny LA? You like that place?
I loathe L.A.
You loathe it?
Oh, I think it's horrible. It's the most boring place in the world.
Boring?
It's totally
What about all
boring.
those rollerblades and girls in bikinis on the beach?
Well,
Guys in bikinis on the beach.
well, it's, you know, that's interesting for what, 3 minutes? That's where you go on holiday, not where you
Venice
live.
Beach or something?
Well, yeah, you go on
Hollywood
holiday.
sign.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, there's a Hollywood sign, you know? It's like, oh, yes.
What about all the parties that you must be invited to?
Life is not about any of that. You know, to me, Los Angeles is about the weather. And periodically I say weather is not enough reason to be someplace. It's tediously boring.
Wow.
It's too big. You drive all the time. People
Crime.
are not very intelligent. They don't talk about anything but the industry. It's like you want to blow your brains out.
Yeah.
You keep thinking, but what happened to thinking? And it's not a town for thinking.
Whereas New York?
It's all about thinking. I mean, everybody knows about museums. My God, first of all, it's really small. And it's impossible. It's like, you know, on a Sunday afternoon, you think, oh, what am I going to do? And you say, oh, I know, I'll go to the Metropolitan Museum, which happens to be one of the 5 most important museums in the history of civilization. And then you say, oh, no, I went to the Met. I'll go to the Museum of Modern Art, which is one of the 5 most important museums in the history of civilization. You walk down the street, and it's, you know, you can get $10 tickets to the Metropolitan Opera, one of the 5 most important opera companies in the history of civilization. And so that's what you live around.
Expensive though, right?
You can still get $10 tickets to the opera.
Yeah.
So
New York is the better place to live.
well, if you want a life, it is.
And you're just in LA at the moment because you're producing something.
No,
Right?
it was time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was time to live in LA.
Speaking of time, we might have to leave.
Oh, I think we should.
But thank you very much. Very much.
As always, it's a pleasure to annoy you.